I have a slightly, I don't say different, but an alternative or an additional sense of reaction to what happened in November 2006, because I remember pointing out last year on the Lincoln and Reagan Day circuit that despite what the media said, I don't believe that the Democrats won the elections here or across the country in November 2006. I just don't believe it. People said, well, wait a minute. When they're in the majority, how did that happen? I said, no, I don't believe they won the election. I believe that Republicans, particularly in Washington, with a few exceptions, people like Paul Ryan and Jim Sensenbrenner, who again this past week got top of the ranks, not just in Wisconsin, but across the Congress in the American Conservative Union, but with a few exceptions to two who I'm thankful to say not only represent parts of Waukesha, but Milwaukee County as well. Thank you, Paul. But with few exceptions, through the 2006 elections and all the years leading up to that, too many Republicans in Washington forgot that we're the party of Reagan. They came in that way. You know, Newt and Mark and everybody else who was a part of that revolution again in 1994 remembered what it was like, and for years, even through the late 1990s, got it right. But not long after Newt Gingrich left as the Speaker of the House in the early 2000s, we started to see it. The party that came in that was going to clean things up, the party that was going to control spending, started to become the party of the people we sought to replace. And we lost, or more appropriately, they lost in Washington, the faith and trust of the people of this country and of this state in particular. And that's what lost the election in November of 2006. Now, that's a pretty heavy indictment. But the interesting thing about that is, much like the leader who's my hero, I know is Paul's hero, and a lot of others in this room who were inspired to go not just into Republican or conservative politics, but in the public service, that being President Reagan. What I loved about him wasn't just his principles, wasn't his just conservative beliefs. It was his eternal optimism, not in the government, but in the people. And I believe the lesson that we learned out of 2006 was not only that Republicans in Washington lost the election, not Democrats winning it, but also the optimism was that conservative views didn't lose. Because the people who lost the elections either didn't run on or didn't act like conservatives when they were in Washington. When given a choice, my theory was a year ago, voters, when they have a true choice between a real conservative and a true liberal, will always choose the conservative. Now, that was an interesting theory, and a lot of people said, well, you're an optimist. How will that really pan out? Well, I'm here to tell you today that after just about 2 months ago, we've seen here in southeastern Wisconsin and all across the state of Wisconsin, that's more than just a theory, that's a reality. And